So this video is going to be a tad bit different because I got a pop filter. Yeah. Alpha male. Anyways, if you didn't know, I have ADHD. Question, what does ADHD mean? Well, I'm glad you asked. It means that if your environment is unhealthy, people will assume the worst out of you and make you feel like a stupid, worthless piece of shit. ADHD stands for attention deficit. I can't read that. ADHD stands for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. Look it up. The main thing about ADHD is that you get distracted easily. When you're not focused on anything you're interested in. Oh, look, a butterfly. Oh my god. Now, I'm not the type to really explain what ADHD is and stuff, but I just want to talk about the insanity of having it and how I grew up with it in a very horrible way. Maybe I'm being petty, but I hated it. But enough about me. Do you have something to say about it? Amarez. Am I saying that right?
Hey guys, this is Amarez, and before I get into this, I just want to say thank you to Zebra for having me on the channel. I'm a very scandalous person, so go ahead and sub to my channel if you're not already. I'm sure Zebra will put my link in the description and whatnot. But anyways, let's get into this, right? So, in my experience with ADHD, it was not really always bad. Like, it's definitely annoying, but it has not made life ridiculously hard to live through. It's just made certain things harder, and it's also made certain things easier, like being creative and shit like that. It's like people describe ADHD as lack of focus, when I don't agree with that. In my opinion, ADHD is lack of desire to focus, because I can focus for hours and hours on hours about something I actually want to do. If I don't do that shit, it's like I can still do it. It's just going to be really hard for me to get it started. But once I get it started, I'll be able to focus pretty well. One thing that I do not like about ADHD is how it makes it hard to develop significant relationships, and it makes it kind of hard to socialize, because like if somebody's actively not talking to me and I'm in a group situation, I just zone out. Like I just stop listening, because like I just feel like none of those words are relevant to me, you know? It's like, like if you're not talking to me, I mean, well, what am I there for? Like, I'm not just gonna sit there, but people expect you to sit there and listen to other people talk for a while. Like, don't get me wrong, I'll listen for like a good 2 minutes, but after that, I mean, it's fuck you, because like, dude, what the fuck? Like, am I really supposed to sit here and listen to y'all talk? And it also makes it hard to develop social relationships, because like some days like I'm really cool, I'm really social, and then other days I'm more so withdrawn. And it's not because I don't like the people, it's just because I have something different I want to do every day. Like I don't want to just talk to you all day. Like I have other shit to do. I have other passions, rather than like I'm a social creature, but at the same time I need to go do my own shit, and I need to be alone. And I do take Adderall for my ADHD. I take 30 milligrams a day, split up into 2 instant release tablets, both 15 milligrams, but I don't always take 30 a day. Like I take it as needed. I really only take it when I have to do a lot of things that people tell me to do that I actually don't want to fucking do. And there's this big misconception about Adderall. I don't take Adderall and then I can just do whatever the fuck I want. Like, say I have like a final to study for. I don't take Adderall and then the pill studies the fucking exam for me. Like, I still have to put in just as much work in as everybody else. It's just that it's a little bit easier for me than it was before I took the pill. Like, if I could describe ADHD, it's just rapidly shifting desires. And when I take Adderall, my desires switch less often. So like if I was studying for my exam, right? For a good 3 minutes, I'm gonna want to figure the answer out to all these questions and shit. But after a while, I'm gonna want to go play my fucking PS4. I'm gonna want to go text some bitches. But if on Adderall, it's like I want to do less shit. Like I want to do more so with one thing at a time. And you can get something similar to this if you already have ADHD. It's called hyperfocus. Like if you when I play video games, I do that shit for hours without even thinking about anything else. When I play sports, I do that shit for hours without thinking about anything else. You see what I mean? So it's like you don't need it, but you need it, because I can't get hyper focused in some shit that I genuinely don't care about, like fucking math, my nigga. Like, what the fuck? Like, what is y equals mx plus b gonna do for me ever in life? Absolutely nothing. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for me. It was Amarez. Make sure you go subscribe to my channel. I'm almost at 700 subs. And shout out my nigga Zebra for letting me on the channel. I'm more than grateful for that shit. And I'll see y'all later.
How did he change my entire format? Anyways, based on what he said, ADHD wasn't really too much of a problem other than just keeping focus on things he wasn't interested in and addressing to others that having ADHD doesn't make you have lack of focus. If anything, it sounds that he has much more of a positive outlook on it since all it did was give him small obstacles to overcome, whether or not it was ADHD pills or just using ADHD to his advantages. Yes, he did mention that ADHD is a little difficult in the social standpoint in conversations, but honestly, I can relate to that. My friends would invite me to chill and hang out, but once I'm there, I'll be trying to talk, but they either just stick to their phones on social media or blast music at high volumes. Nowadays, I can look at my ADHD as more as an advantage. It's where all my ideas, goals, and dreams come from. Ain't that right, brain? Oh, God! It's too much! There's too much ideas! Amarez has also told me that he had regular education classes, but it did surprise me a little, just because I've never really met or talked to other people with ADHD who weren't in special education classes. Special education classes is more of a program where more slow kids would be taught. Special ed kids would be put into a small class with kids similar to them, either diagnosed with mental handicaps, autism, most mental syndromes, ADHD, ADD, OCD, or DBZ, you name it. Now, that might be an over-exaggeration, but hear me out. The zebra virus, was in special education classes. Nobody cares! Hush, child! I know it's sad, but let me speedrun this shit so I don't gotta keep drawing. I've been in special ed since like first grade. I always threw tantrums as a kindergartner and the teachers were so afraid of me they had to call my parents to see if there was something wrong with me. Well, obviously, I ate my fucking Kit Kats with a bite instead of breaking it apart. So I get sent to this clinic where they did some sort of test that looked like some acid trip maze and I got a low score on it. Shame. So then they labeled me as autistic and then they sent me on my way. I didn't know what autism meant, but it didn't stop me from thinking I was fine because they told me I can get free candy. I go to elementary and they signed me up for special education classes because of autism and anger problems. More on that in a different video. Can't catch up? Too bad! After around a few months, the clinic calls back saying they fucked up. We go back, same acid trip test, then they label me with ADHD and take me to a therapy clinic for ADHD pills, making me fall asleep a lot in class. Shame. My main point is that ADHD wasn't really easy for me. My family never understood what this ADHD was and it made my situation worse. School practically made me feel outcasted with ADHD, labeling me like I'm a problem. I got IEPs, I got therapy from age 7 to 14 for my ADHD. I even got kicked out of my district and got sent to a school for problematic kids with insane mental problems. Okay, well, that last part was my fault, but my point is that I always thought having ADHD makes me annoying, a burden, useless, and plain old stupid, and only half of those are true! My biggest problem with ADHD isn't really ADHD, it's just the people and environment that make me worry about it, overthink it, and make me feel bad about it. Well, joke's on you! Years of trauma have trained me to be invincible to all this bad stuff. Oh, I'm lonely. Oh god, that took forever to fucking make. Jesus. Thanks to Amarez for coming on here and talking about ADHD. His channel link will be in the description and right here in the end card. Trying to fill up some time so you can actually see his end card. So, yeah, I got sick and that's why it took so long, but now I'm better and gonna be working on, you know, JoJo Bridge. Hopefully the people who are subscribed to for JoJo Bridge are actually watching this video. If you're not, fuck, I'm kind of just wasting my time here. But I did enjoy talking about ADHD, kind of a way to vent ever since more problems occurred with it, but it's not really much of a problem, like I said. So yeah, subscribe, I hope you enjoyed, and now to work on JoJo Bridge.